Hi everyone, it's me. So I am back in England, back in the living room with the usual ugly decor. This week I wanted to do a Q&A with you guys. I asked for your questions in my last video, so I've got a couple here. I thought let's do a Q&A. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, let's do one. I've got my laptop here. I'm not like just staring off into the abyss. It's really dirty. Okay, so Sydney McDonald left a really cute comment. You seriously always make me laugh, like your sarcasm and tone kills me. Girl, let's be friends. She asks, what is daily life like in Kent? Is it someplace you see yourself staying? And what do I do at the college? I do admin stuff like data, tracking things. It's fun, you know. But what is my daily life like in Kent? My life in Kent is kind of like my life anywhere, and that's what's sort of weird to come to grips with when you move to a foreign country, because a lot of the times online and on social media and people who move away to someplace cool or exotic or, you know, palm trees or whatever, it's like their life is so awesome and I want that life. But in reality, I mean, my daily life, Monday to Friday, I get up for work, walked to the bus, hopefully the bus shows up, sometimes it doesn't. I take the bus to work, 9 to 5, I am working in front of a computer doing data stuff, numbers and spreadsheets and what have you. Then I usually go to the gym if I can be bothered. Then I walk to another bus stop. Then I take that bus home, shower, eat, and then I sit on the couch and I chill. And I might play a video game or read my book or be on YouTube doing stuff, whatever. But that's my typical day, and that's very typical, I mean, had I been living in Canada. So sometimes you kind of forget, like, life goes on. That was probably a really boring answer. I am so sorry. Is it someplace you see yourself staying? I mean, I'm willing to live just about anywhere, I think. I'm not really tied to any one particular place. I mean, I'm here, my boyfriend is here. My boyfriend has a really good job here. So it makes sense to be here for the foreseeable future. But I mean, I'm not closing any doors, whether it's going back to Canada, going to another country, I don't know. Next question is from Mumby Henry. I'm not sure I said that right. What's your favorite music / band? Well, I listen to music every day, and at least a couple of hours every day. Music is like one of those things that I'm like intensely passionate about. So I will listen to just about anything except country. Not a fan of the country. I'm also very much a mood listener, so I need to be in a particular mood. But in terms of some bands, okay, classic rock, I like Led Zeppelin and Foreigner and The Who, stuff like that. Alternative, like newer rock, I like Muse, I like July Talk and Nothing But Thieves. Heavy rock, I like Nine Inch Nails, I like, oh, I just had one. Queens of the Stone Age. I even will listen to some blues, so like B.B. King, Muddy Waters. Most of my music tends to be like alternative, indie, like hard to classify. Lately, some of the albums I've been listening to, The Beaches, which are Canadian, Dear Rouge, also Canadian. I could do a whole Canadian music video. Canada has some wicked music, and if you aren't familiar, familiarize yourself. Foster the People, Bishop Briggs, Lord, Bleachers, Aurora. We got some Queen on there, that's a bit old. Young and the Giant, Tuvlo, Ex-Ambassadors, Bastille, Arkells, Half Moon Run, The Lumineers, Adele, Churches, Alt J, Miss Mister, Florence and the Machine. I mean, we could go on forever. But yeah, I love music. I might do another video about that because we don't have time for that. Next question comes from The Spirit Safe. What do you think of Weatherspoons? This is a really interesting question because we do not have a Weatherspoons equivalent in Canada that I know of. So for all my non-British people, Weatherspoons is like a chain pub place. So they're all called Weatherspoons, but they have their own name. So it might be like the Prancing Pony or the Three Broomsticks or some other Harry Potter reference. But they all are, even though they have different names, they are all still Weatherspoons. They serve like the same food. The food and the drinks are dirt cheap. So, I mean, the quality is not outstanding, but personally, I like Weatherspoons. I'm not posh enough to turn my nose down at Weatherspoons. Basically, every town has a Weatherspoons. It's like you can't build this town unless you have a post office and a Weatherspoons. But yeah, I like them. I got nothing against a Weatherspoons. My local one is actually really nice. It has a nice patio, so in the summer when it's still warm at night, you can sit out in the patio and have your pints, and it's fun. I mean, sometimes they might get a little roughy-tufty because it is so cheap, so drinks are like unbelievably cheap. Thus, you end up drinking too much, but you know, Weatherspoons is fun. But it's actually really nice to have like that sort of pub environment around all the time, because we don't have that in Canada. So if you wanted to go like hang out someplace, you'd have to like go to a restaurant basically, or a bar, but a lot of the bars don't open until late, whereas Weatherspoons, because they serve food, I mean, I think they serve breakfast at Weatherspoons as well, so it's like open sort of throughout the day and the night. It's like this social kind of hangout place. 327HKS, not really sure what that stands for, but she says, how do you like British TV? I live in the US, but watch mostly British TV. I think it's better. The US tends to steal so many of their ideas, and sometimes it makes lousy versions of them. Okay, very true. As a Canadian though, I have to admit, what tends to happen is like, the UK has a TV show, which then the US steals and makes their own American version, and then Canada is like, oh man, they both have this show, we have to have it too, so we steal it from the US and make an even worse version of it. So we're like the bottom of the totem pole. I love Canada, but I think our television really suffers. I don't know if it's because people tend to go to the US to like make it big, and so Canadians are down there producing and writing like American shows, and we don't get credit for it, so all our TV shows kind of suck. I like British TV. I was huge into Sherlock, and probably my all-time favorite TV show, any country, has to be Luther. Like, I'm totally into that like crime stuff, and he is absolutely beautiful. What I also love about British TV is you guys have a lot of comedy shows. It's kind of hard to explain, but like 8 out of 10 Cats. 8 out of 10 Cats does Countdown. Mock of the Week. Would I Lie to You? Live at the Apollo is on almost every night. Like, they're just like a blend of like comedy, game showy kind of stuff, and I eat it up. So yeah, lots of really funny shows, lots of game shows. I mean, you got Pointless, you got Catchphrase, Bullseye. I actually love Bullseye. It's like this, I don't know, 70s darts game show. Love it. Love the outfits. The only thing that I really have never gotten into and probably will never get into are the soaps. So like Coronation Street, Hollyoaks, EastEnders. I swear to God, they have episodes legitimately every day, and it's like, you know, the soap opera relationship, storylines, character, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I'm never gonna get into that. What's interesting about the UK is they have this thing called a watershed. I think most countries have some sort of variation of it, but it's basically like at a certain time of night you can start programming like TV programs that have like mature content or swearing and stuff. So the watershed in the UK starts at 9 p.m. On like free TV channels. And it says there should be a gentle transition to adult material, and 18 rated content must not air until 10 on most channels. Blah, 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 blah. So what was really funny was a few months ago I was flipping around, and I love Gordon Ramsay, okay? I love Gordon Ramsay. And again, it would have been like 10 o'clock at night maybe, and it was like Kitchen Nightmares or Hotel Hell, or one of his many wonderful shows. And it was uncensored. I've never watched him uncensored before for some reason. Like even in Canada, when you watch Hell's Kitchen, say, and it's on like Tuesdays at 9 or whatever, it is always censored. I've never heard that show uncensored before until now, and Chef Ramsay is just like completely uncensored. It's like, this is incredible. So I just thought that's, back to the question, we were like incredibly off topic. I love British TV for the most part. You still have some weird stuff. I mean, like Love Island. What were you thinking? Bazza UK says, did you say what's up when you were in Canada after being in the UK, or do you say you alright mate? I've never said you alright mate, quite frankly, because it sounds dumb when I say it. So yeah, what's up comes naturally. I still say it here in the UK. It probably bugs some people, but they're too polite to tell me otherwise. You alright mate just doesn't feel natural yet. George Campbell asks, where are some cool places you've been in the UK and Canada, and where do you want to go? It's kind of embarrassing to admit, I have not traveled Canada that much. It is a big country, so it's very difficult to do just like a short weekend road trip, because, I mean, you could drive for 24 hours and still be in the same province. So I've not done a lot in Canada. That's embarrassing. I have been very privileged to travel a lot just in general, like the US, the Caribbean, the UK, parts of Europe. Since I've been living in the UK, I've done lots of places in the southeast, because that's where I'm living. I've been to Bath, Oxford, Bristol, Stonehenge area. In Wales, I've done Cardiff in the south, Conway up north, and the Snowdonia area. I climbed Mount Snowdon a few years ago, which could be its own video. It was really cool. Scotland, I've only done Edinburgh, but I absolutely loved it and I really want to go back there. I've been to London dozens of times, and I've actually spent holidays previous in London, like before I lived here. In terms of Europe, since I've been living in the UK for the last 2 years, I've been to Barcelona and Copenhagen. So not too much in Europe. I've tried to focus more on the UK and doing like local stuff and like road trip type things. In terms of where do I want to go, my next big trip, I really want to get out to Asia, specifically Japan. I'm not really sure when or how yet, but it is in the makings. In terms of the UK, I really want to go out west, like to Devon. In the summer would be nice. I want to go back up to Scotland. I wanted to climb Ben Nevis and do like Highland type trips. So, I mean, who knows when that will happen. Everything costs money, you know what I'm saying? Money and holiday time. But I have really enjoyed all my trips around the UK. A lot of my family were British. I mean, I'm pretty sure it started in Wales. I had a great grandmother that was from Aberdeen, who I actually knew. She was really funny. And then other family that were from like Surrey area. So it's really neat to travel around the UK and see different locations that potentially my family lived. I think we're gonna cut it off there because I feel like I've been talking a long time. Thank you guys so much for your questions. Thank you so much for watching and liking my videos and subscribing and leaving nice comments and just being good people. And I just am very thankful. There were other questions too, so I'll save those and probably do another video in a couple weeks. But if you guys have ideas for things that you'd like to see or ask me or stuff about England or whatever, leave a comment below. You know, coming up with ideas is hard. As always, thank you so much for watching, and until next time, bye!